Assalamu alaikum dear viewers, and welcome to our Learn Arabic show. Right, so in the previous sessions we have been doing about the past tense, and we have covered up all the 12 pronouns. We have finished with all the 12 pronouns in the past tense form. Now today I'd like to begin our lesson with another hadith from the Scales of Wisdom, and it says قال Rasulullah. Okay, it says that رأس الحكمة, okay, it says that the fountainhead, okay, the fountainhead, that is رأس الحكمة, the fountainhead of wisdom, is the fear of Allah. مخافة الله is the fear of Allah. I'll just put that down. You'll find it in Scale of Wisdom. So it says رأس الحكمة مخافة الله. Okay, so رأس الحكمة مخافة الله means, and you will find this, the hadith is, not sure, I think it's 1996. You will find this hadith in the Scale of Wisdom, just as the previous hadith that I had given, Man Ahabbak Nahak. You'll find it in the same book. The bilingual edition is done by M. Muhammadi Ray Shahri, so you will find it in that book. The hadith number is 1996. I'm not so sure, but you can look up on the hadith. So, and this is under the topic of fear of Allah. Okay, so you'll find it under the topic fear, because all the hadith that have been compiled are divided into topics. So ra'su means means but the translator has translated it as fountainhead. Okay, and hikmah means wisdom. Okay, wisdom. And makhafat Allah, you know, we say khawf, fear, we say fear as khawf. Now in Arabic it's makhafata, so that's fear. Makhafat Allah, fear of Allah, right? So that's the hadith I wanted to start with. Ra'sul hikmati makhafat Allah, right? Now we'll be beginning with our session for today. However, before we begin our session for today, I would like to clarify something from the previous session. In the previous session, we had discussed about the past tense for hunna and antunna. Now there was a slight change that you have to make to antunna. Right, so we had discussed about antunna in the past tense, and we said that antunna means you all, female. I'm not talking about wahid or ithnan. I'm talking about thalatha and more women. You all. So I'm talking about you, 3 or more of feminine. Right, antunna, right? And the past tense I had said was, for example, my root verb says kataba, okay? So there's just a slight change that you have to make. Kataba, okay? Now what happens to kataba is when I change it into the past tense, what I'll do is I'll add a ta and a noon, right? That remains the same. Ta and the noon from here, right? So I have added that there, right? But what's going to happen, the change that you have to make is the ba at the end will carry a jussive. Okay, so this here will not carry a fatha, it will carry a jussive. So this will become katab. This ba here has carried a jussive on top, katabtunna. And the same will apply for all the other verbs. Katabtunna, nadartunna, okay, akaltunna. All the rest of the verbs, it will apply the same trend. The last letter here in the root verb will carry a jussive sign, and there will be an addition of a ta nominative with a noon, tashdid, and an accusative on top. So this is how it will take its trend. Now, not to waste much time, I want to begin with our today's session. Now, remember I said that we will be discussing on, while forming the sentences, we have the verb, the subject, the object. I had been telling you that we will be, in our further classes, explaining why does the object carry a fatha or a genitive or a dhamma, right? So today we'll be starting with the prepositions. So this will enable you to form simple sentences. So these are prepositions. These are the prepositions in the Arabic, okay? So we'll be looking at the prepositions. We have one of the preposition, ila. Okay, we have arla. Okay, we have min. Okay, we'll have fi. Okay, we'll have be. Then we have an. And finally we have li. So these are the prepositions in the Arabic. Of course, an, be, and li, they are not exactly prepositions, but the reason why I have listed these three down, these three, is because that whenever any of these words that I have listed here, okay, whenever they come before an object in a sentence, the object will carry a genitive case. The object will carry a kasra at the end of the word, okay? It will carry a kasra. Always it's going to be genitive case. Now I'll translate this for you. Ila, to. Arla means on. Min means from. Fi means in. Be means with. You can also say ma'a or be. An means about. And finally, li means for, okay? Right, so I've listed these down. You can copy them down. Illa means to. You notice here, this, it carries what you call long vowel, right? It carries a long vowel, so you have to say illa. I hope you remember in our classes for long vowels, illa. Then we have arla, and all these yas, they come without dots, right? So we have illa, we have arla, we have min, we have fi, we have be, an, and li. Now we will be looking at sentences and how do these words have an effect on the object and how do they change it into the genitive case. So I'll be listing down a few sentences for you, giving an example of each of them. Right. So the first sentence we have is ذهب محمد ذهب محمد إلى المسجد. إلى المسجد. So we'll be looking at each part of the sentence. Now, from our tenses classes, you must be knowing now what's the meaning of ذهب. So if I say ذهب, it has to click in your mind. It means he went, right? ذهب means he went. Who went? Muhammad, right? So the subject is Muhammad. Muhammad is our subject. ذهب is verb, right? ذهب is verb. And what is our preposition in this sentence? The preposition here is ila. This is the preposition. And what is the object? The object is masjid, okay, mosque. So this is our object. Now remember, while forming the sentences, I said in Arabic, this is always going to carry the same format. Verb plus subject plus object. It's always going to carry this sequence. So it will start with the verb, followed by the subject, followed by the object. Of course, in English, it's not like that, okay? If I translate this, it will translate to Muhammad. If I translate this here, it will translate to Muhammad went to the mosque. So I have translated this here. Muhammad went to the mosque. Now if you look at English, it starts with the subject. It starts with the subject, then it proceeds with the verb, then finally concludes with the object. So it's subject, verb, object. But however, in Arabic, it is verb followed by the subject followed by the object. So if you are translating a sentence from English to Arabic, write it down in English and then try to identify what is the subject of the sentence, what is the verb, what is the object, and that is how it will make it more easy for you to translate it into Arabic by starting with the verb. So my verb here is went. What is went in Arabic? He went. Who went? Muhammad went. What is went? Dhahaba. So I will start with dhahaba, my verb. Then followed by the subject. What is my subject? My subject here, we are talking about Muhammad. Right, so that is my subject. So we have the subject there. Okay, then followed by, we have the preposition followed by that. And lastly, we have the object. So it will always take the same format. Verb, subject, then object. It will not take the same form as English. Right. So now here you notice that this is our object. Masjid is our object. But can I say ila al-masjida? No. Can I say ila al-masjidu? No. Why? Because I said that whenever an object is preceded by any preposition, it will obviously eventually carry, it will carry what? A genitive case. It will carry a kasra at the end of the sentence. So any object that is preceded by a preposition, be it ala, okay, be it ila, be it fi, it will always carry a genitive case. Now let's look at other more examples. Right, so my second example is kataba. كتبه كتب علي كتب علي على السبورة. Right. كتب علي على السبورة. Now translate, right? So we have started with the verb. What is the verb? Kataba is my verb. Following the verb plus subject plus object. Okay, follow this. So I've started with my verb. What is my subject? My subject is Ali. What is my object? My object is Sabura, blackboard, right? So kataba aliyun ala sabura. Now, what sign will I put here? At the end of this object, it will carry a sign. Now, what sign? Will I put a fatha? Will I put a kasra? Will I put a dhamma? What sign? Here, the object will carry a kasra sign. Always the object will carry a kasra sign. Why a kasra sign in this case? Why genitive case? Because the object is preceded by a preposition. Arla is a preposition. Because this is a preposition and it comes before the object, which is sabura, that's why this will carry a kasra sign, okay? So if you translate this, kataba, he wrote, right? So Ali wrote on the blackboard. Okay, let's look at another example. We have qara'at. قرأت فاطمة قرأت فاطمة من القرآن. Right. So this is our sentence. قرأت فاطمة من القرآن. قرأت. I've started with verb. Same format. Verb, subject, object. So I've started with my verb. My subject here we're talking about Fatima. So I've preceded the verb. Sorry, I've listed down the subject after the verb. So that's my subject. And finally, that's my object. So we have verb, subject, object. And what is min? Minal. Minal means, it's a preposition and it means from. Okay, so this is a preposition. Right, so I've identified all the particles in the sentence. My verb, my subject, my object, my preposition. Okay, right. So now this is the object. Now will this object carry an accusative case? Will it carry a nominative, or will it carry a genitive case? Of course, if you look at the whole sentence here, this word comes comes after a preposition. Okay, there's a preposition here before the object. Now because there is a preposition before the object, therefore the object will carry a kasra. So therefore I have a kasra here again. Here I had a kasra. Why here kasra? Because there is a preposition. Here also I have a kasra. Why kasra? Because there is a preposition. Okay? So قرأت فاطمة من القرآن means Fatima recited from the Quran. Right. Our next example we have حسن في البيت. Right. حسن في البيت. Here, of course, now here in this sentence, do I have any verb? Do I have any verb in this sentence? No, I don't have any verb in this sentence. So because I don't have any verb in this sentence, I will eventually, because here there is no verb. So I will start with the subject. And who are we talking about? We're talking about Hassan. So that is my subject, right? So that is my subject. Hassan is my subject. And the object. What is the object? Beiti. That's my object. And we have a preposition. So this is my preposition. So Hassanu fil Beiti. Hassan is in the house. Okay? Now here again, you see, I have a kasra here. Why again I have a kasra here? Why have not I put an accusative or nominative? Why is this a genitive case? Again, the same reason. Because this word, this object comes after a preposition. Therefore, the object will carry a kasra sign. So the translation for this will be Hassan is in, this means in. Hassan is in the house. Okay? So that's the translation. Okay, our next example we have سأل محمد عن علي. Right. So I have this sentence here. Sa'ala Muhammadun an aliyin. Okay? So sa'ala here is my verb. There. Verb. Okay? I've identified it. It's my verb. Subject here, we're talking about Muhammad. So that is my subject. My preposition is an. Preposition. And finally, the object here is Ali. Right. So again, you notice that Ali here, of course, it carries a tanween. It carries a tanween, but this is genitive case. Okay, it's a kasra thing. Okay, genitive case. It carries a tanween. Do you notice in the amal of the month of Ramadan, we say bi aliyin. Why do we say bi'aliyin? Why don't we say bi'aliyun or bi'aliyan? Because the ba itself, B, I had given the examples in the preposition. B is a preposition. Now because it is a preposition, the object, the word, that follows the B will carry a kasra, or sometimes in some cases it will carry a kasratin. That's why we say bi'aliyin, because B is a preposition and it comes before the word Ali. Therefore, Ali will carry a kasratin. So bi'aliyin, bimuhammadin, bihassanin. Okay? But you will notice there are some special words, like why don't we say bifatimatin? We say bifatimata, okay? Because that is more of a special case. We'll be coming to that. There are some words that are unchangeable. You cannot change them. Even though a preposition comes before it, you cannot change, like we say bifatimata, okay? If I say Ibrahim, bi Ibrahima, I won't say bi Ibrahimin, because there are some names and some words that are unchangeable, that they cannot be changed, right? But however, there are other words and names that can be changed, like bi Aliyin, bi Muhammadin, bi Hassanin, okay, bi Hassan ibn Aliyin, right? So same with this, okay? I have an. An is a preposition, and of course it comes before the word Ali, and therefore Ali will carry a kasratain. So the translation for this, Sa'ala Muhammadun an Ali. Sa'ala. You know, in Swahili we say swali. Swali means question, right? Sa'ala means he asked. He asked, right? Sa'ala Muhammadun. Muhammad asked an Aliyin. Muhammad asked about Ali. That is the translation for this sentence. So inshallah, in the other further classes, we'll be looking at more long and complex sentences. And of course, we'll be looking at other cases. Of course, I still have in mind that we haven't covered majroor, the jamr al-mukassir and jamr al-salim, the broken and sound plurals. We'll also be looking at that. And then we have the present tense as well, since we have completed with the past tense. So inshallah, we'll be looking at all these topics. For now, this sums up our class for today. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. Thanks for listening and have a nice day.